Now, the cabinet of President Bola Tinubu is in place, but the position of Minister for Youth Development is still vacant. Hence, the battle for that ministerial slot heats up. As such, some stakeholders and the youth wing of the All Progressive Congress have appealed to President Bola Tinubu to appoint a young person as the next Minister for Youth Development. Tony, let me start from you. The person that was put there before, we were told he was a 60-year-old man, and that man was actually excused, and I think he has
reassigned.
He was reassigned, and we've seen before this administration, we've seen this kind of aberration. We've seen, you know, old women
heading the youth ministry.
And
I salute the president for listening, because we've never heard it before. Maybe I stand corrected. I can't recall a time when people complain about ministerial list, you know, and then the president acts on it immediately. You know,
should there be kind of age bracket for this?
There should be age bracket. It should be at least less than 50 years, 50 or less. Yeah, because yes, you're minister of youth. Yeah, because most times it's not even about the age. Let's be realistic here. Most times, it's not even. But when you say youth ministry, it should be dominated by youth. It should be headed by a youth.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
So less, at least from 40 downward.
Okay, from 40 downward.
Yes.
Wale?
Well, I think who is a youth? The first place. See, the UN defines youth as between 15 and 24.
15 and 24.
Then the African Union. You know, when it's commissioned,
politics will define
call it between 15 and 35.
It has been politicized.
You know, so now you have a situation where people are saying young people should be there. Young people, you know, at what age are we really talking about?
Yes.
But you see, one thing I think we should not forget is that this is the first time we're having separation between youth and sports. Because when you are talking about youth and sports, it's as if sports is all about, well, the young people are the actors in sports.
Yes.
But sports is not just about young people. You have the audience, you have its own political economy, you have its own revenue aspect, you have advertising, you have the audience that are made up of, you know, people of different, age brackets. So I think we need to commend what the president has done. However, having a youth minister, for me, what is important? Well, the age is good, but I think we should also look at, this is a new ministry. What is going to be the template? What is the framework? What is the plan of this new minister? And what are the issues that ought to be addressed? For instance, we are talking about building intercultural, interfaith, interreligious dialogue between our younger people, tackling the issue of violence, tackling drug use, moral reorientation of our younger people. So I think what is most important to us is what is the focal point of the new minister of youth. Of youth. So I think the president should engage the people that he really wants to pick, because it's the first time we're having this kind of ministry, and be sure of what plan they usually have in stock for Nigerian youth, which dominate the population, some 60% of the population. So it's a hook ministry that needs a strategic person that understands the issues.
After the NSAS protests, Nigeria now, if you undermine the interest of the youth, you're on your own. As in, it is said that 70% of our population, look at the INEC timetable, look at the voters' timetable register, you understand that we have a youthful population. So what will you advise President Bola Tinubu to do?
I think that this is not a difficult thing for the president to do. The president promised that he will bring in young people and women into his administration. So when you look at it, it will seem that in making that statement, he lumped young people and women together. Now, by bringing 7 women into the cabinet, no one could say that the president has not done well. This is remarkable, to bring 7 women into the cabinet, and even giving some of them very key portfolios, like the new Ministry of Tourism, Trade and Industries and all that. So I think also that a woman was also made Minister of State for Police Affairs. For the first time, we've given that role to a woman. So kudos to the president for living up to his promise of bringing women into his cabinet. Whether those women are enough is a matter for debate. I would have wanted more, and I know that a lot of women will have wanted more because we've tried women in the past in various roles and they did very well. Now, again, if I was the president, I'm going to find someone who is no more than 43 years to head the youth ministry. Bring in an old man, someone not more than 43 years of age. Bring in a man in his 60s is not good enough. In fact, that's like sending a signal to the young people that he did not find them good enough to head a ministry that normally should be about them. So, and the president, if he looks to his left and to his right, is going to find people, including those who worked exceedingly for him, including those that competed against him, and at the end of the day, they dropped out of the race. It's one thing to drop out of the race and then work for the president. During the election, we were looking for somebody with a voice, who had the voice that you could call the voice of the young people. And we had a certain Nicholas, who was the youngest of the presidential aspirants, and the youngest at that time, the youngest presidential candidate in our history, who contested in 2019 and came third. He was on the APC presidential primaries on the ballot, but at the end he dropped out of the race and he supported the president. We know how many times that he appeared on TV because we brought him on a lot of the programs to speak for the president, to appeal to the young people to support the president. There's no reason why some of the people who worked exceedingly hard for the president, who were eager to come out and campaign for him, despite being attacked for the fact that they were not of the president's religion. Why would you be supporting somebody who did Muslim ticket? Some of them stood firm and supported the president, worked hard for him. If such people are within the brackets, the president doesn't need to look far away to pick such a person. So if I were in his shoes, I will look in the direction of Nicholas and say, come, I met you the other day, because the president reached out to them, the president visited him. So the president couldn't have forgotten him. But of course, he's from Edo State, where somebody had been picked. Again, that is not a drawback. If the president will want to pick among some of the people contested for the APC presidential ticket, because people like Ujuda contested, if the president will want to look in that direction, that will be fine. Because in my view, many Nigerians, many young people will warm up to the idea of having a 42-year-old man head that ministry than to bring a 60-something-year-old person. I mean, that would be ridiculous. So this shouldn't be something that will take time. I know that even if the president chooses anyone now, he has to wait until the National Assembly resume from their recess before that person can be cleared and all that. I know that is on ground. But the point that I'm making is the president doesn't have to look very far. Within his party, amongst the people contested for the APC presidential ticket, there is somebody that he can find. I don't like to appear to campaign for individuals because I have no reason to. But at the same time, I can push for the president to recognize hard work, to recognize loyalty, to recognize sacrifice. Because That is what we've known him over the years for. So if he drifts away from that and he goes to pick someone, maybe even outside the party, someone who didn't really work for the party as much as some young people did, then people will not be happy. So the judgment is for the president, and I know that given the time that he has, and given the less pressure that he faces at this time, he would be able to find the best of the best to occupy that position. And the young people will be happy that at least he picked one of their own, just the same way he picked Bumi Tunji Ojo and Bosun Tijani to head the ministry.
Okay. Judas mentioned the names of the people he wants. Yeah, I'm also rooting for the likes of Dayo Israel, Moremi Ojudu. We have young people that actually worked for that ticket. But ultimately, it's going to be something that will be a standard. And effectively, you can reach out to the youths, especially if this person is very young.
He's very young. I would have rooted for Dayo Israel, though, because he was active and he was everywhere during the last election. So I was actually thinking he was going to head the ministry until the list dropped. And I'm happy there's a vacuum now, and I pray he gets it. Really, he worked for it. So when it comes to merit, competence, competency, hard work, I think he should get it. He should get it. And I know, as I said before, that the president listened. And I know that the protest by the youth today at the APC headquarters should send, we should send that message. And truly, when you work, when people say, where person they work, and they don't work shop. So they work, they did a lot during last election, led by Israel. People actually went for him. People were,
online,
they attacked him in meetings, but they stand firm. So of everyone, all of them that worked, they know them, but he stands out.
But some of these ministers, they are young people. Look at Betta. Betta is 36. Yeah. Betta is 36, if I'm understanding correctly. Betta is 36. And
maybe we should have headed the youth ministry.
So
I think we have
it should not be difficult to get youths that actually
I don't think it's difficult.
must still be within the All Progressive Congress. We also have youths across that.
If they're championing for it, they should get it first.
I don't think the likes of Bosun Tijani rooted for Mr. President, but at the end of the day, merits on the strength of what he can do.
The minister should be somebody that shares the political
ideals of the party.
The ideas, the ideology of the party.
Okay.
So, because what is important is that you are implementing a program of the party. So, you must first of all, need to share, what the party stands for. Because if you don't do that, after some time, you may not
get tired.
And I also think Dayo Israel is one of those candidates. I've never met him before, but I've also, somebody that at the age of 9 was already heading, involved in a civil society organization. Anti-violence organization, attending United Nations at the age of 15. Listed as one of the best products from London Metro University. And if you look at many things that he has done in terms of, even being known across Africa, I think it's also it's a candidate that we should watch for, plus the Nicholas at the end of the day, I believe the president should interrogate them, should engage them constructively, and then let them know what exactly have in stock. So he should pick the best out of this list of. But Nigeria has abundant of youth that are qualified, to lead the country.